The day before is real. It does exist, it was released, but I don't think that's a good thing. I wasn't hyped for the day before. The warning signs were consistent, but I still gave it a shot so I could make this video. It went exactly how I expected it to go, really how most people expected it to go, so here we are. Maybe someday far in the future, the day before will be a game worth your time and money, but for now that's definitely not the case. Even if you like zombie survival games, if you like DayZ or games like it, I don't think this is a good one, not in its current state. The day before is in early access, that absolutely needs to be mentioned, but I still don't think it's worth $40. I played right up until the refund window, just for full transparency, but I've watched enough to know that what I played is kinda it. I just didn't get to use better guns. Given the developer's history with abandoning games and the little safety net that can be abused, the words on Steam for early access go like this. This early access game is not complete and may or may not change further. If you are not excited to play this game in its current state, then you should wait to see if the game progresses further in development. I didn't want to risk it, so that's why I didn't play more. Buy this one at your own risk. If you enjoy the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of future uploads. First off, you create a character. It's very bare bones, but that's fine. I don't mind that sort of thing not being super in depth, but something to note. After that, you select a server, and getting into one was an absolute nightmare. It took a really long time, a lot of trial and error. There isn't even any indication of how full the servers are, just full, high, probably medium, and low, and that's kinda annoying. If you can get into a server, you're met with a very familiar opening. It's almost exactly like Fallout New Vegas, and I thought that was pretty funny. The doc makes sure you're okay, you learn how to do some inventory stuff and consume some water, and you're out into the hub. You run around, get familiar with NPCs you're going to need to make use of, you get a gun, store some stuff, and then you go out and make a base. The base building seemed decent enough for anyone that's into it, but when I was trying to place things down, they didn't appear for a little bit. It might have been lag, but it was taking too long, so I just spammed everything I needed to and moved on. After all that's done, you finally get some quests and can go explore the city. I was pretty happy they give you a decent enough weapon to start with. It makes the beginning of the game not so much of a slog compared to other survival games, but the world's so empty. It doesn't end up amounting to anything worth praising. There is just nothing when you're exploring. I went into a few buildings on my way to the first quest location, and there was maybe a backpack or a cupboard and nothing inside most of them. I stopped going into any after the first few, even if they'd been looted by other players already. Having only one or two lootable objects in any given building is lame. You don't have to pick and choose what you take or make room for more important items, just grab whatever if you get lucky enough to find something. Sure, it's a zombie survival game, but if you want to incentivize players to actually loot, there has to be stuff to loot. Well, after that, I kind of just ran through the dead city. It looks alright, but the game was running like poop for me. I ran into another player pretty quickly, had a typical third-person shootout, and it wasn't too bad. I was a little bit interested after this. The shooting isn't anything spectacular, but with better gear and loot, I think the actual gunfights are fine. However, upon taking the poor guy out, his body disappeared immediately, and I didn't get to loot him. Oh boy, so not only do you not get to loot buildings, but the bodies disappear, so no loot there either. Then I continued on towards my objective. I will say, just a note, I like the GPS, the map looks nice, so there's a positive. You don't have to worry about whipping it out either, because after that first encounter there was absolutely nothing. No players, no zombies, just running through a boring abandoned city, running down boring streets, staring at a bunch of boring broken down vehicles. I thought I was gonna see at least some zombies in my way, but no. Well, actually just kidding. I found one zombie once I got close to my objective. Taking it out was janky, it didn't feel satisfying, it didn't look good, and I was just laughing at this point. What else can you do? At least I could loot the zombie though. The objective location that had the items I needed for the fetch quest actually had some stuff around that I could grab, so that was nice. I got everything I needed, and on my way out, I ran into another player. They were crouched and glitched out. I couldn't even see their gun. I shot them a few times, they shot me with their invisible gun, and then I died. The screen went black and I got sent to the main menu for a connection error. What an experience. That was enough for me. It's just a nothing game right now. Fetch quests, awkward zombies, barely any loot, messed up PvP, it's just not good. Only having 3 encounters was so disappointing. I ran into more players than I did zombies, and in a zombie survival game that's pretty sad. This really is a buy at your own risk game. I would not recommend it, especially for $40. It's a pretty unacceptable experience, even for early access. And there's a lot that needs to be added or changed. It's going to take a while before this game can really turn into something. Maybe in another year or so, I don't know. If the devs put in work and turn it around faster, good on them, seriously. But with such a rocky release and just not being what it was advertised as, it's a tough place to come back from. I hope they do, though. I don't wish for any game to fail, but they have a lot of work to do. That's really all there is to say. What a shame.